I am done. Finally done with sorting out all my fabric and laces, and it took me a long time, but I'm glad I took the time to do it. I was okay with moving the bulk of it to the garage because really, if I could go through the stuff that I've got in the closet, if I could use some of that stuff up, I'll have more room. I can bring some more things in. So it was important for me to take a look at what I had and then think about how I was going to use it. And I really recommend if you're going to do any kind of reorganization project, think about it like that. Don't think about what's going to make it look pretty first. I mean, for most of us, we kind of want to have it look nice, but first think about how you're going to use it. If it's something you're not going to use that often, maybe it's okay if it goes behind a closed door or it goes out into another room. If it's something you're going to use all the time, you got to have easy access to it, right? So that's kind of the approach that I took. I found some more large clear containers, the largest I've had to date, and they fit absolutely perfectly on the shelf in the fabric closet. So I bought some of those. I'll put the link down to those and my other favorite clear containers in the description box. I'm glad I took the time to do it right because I changed my mind 2 or 3 times going through it. Let's take a look at what I ended up with. So before I could do anything, I had to sort out the giant mess of fabric I had all over the fabric closet and the studio. And so I had to decide what could stay in the house and what could go out to the garage. Luckily, we have some shelving out in the garage that's dedicated to just storing all my stuff. Thank you to hubby who lets me do that because as you can see, there was a lot of it that had to go out to the garage. And thank goodness here in California, the cars don't go in the garage. So there was room for all my art stuff that needed an overflow. But then I got to reorganize the closet itself. Ta-da! I was so excited because now instead of having everything all jammed in there where I couldn't get to it, I could actually see what I have and only have the stuff that I knew I was going to use first. And yeah, this used to be a closet for our coats and the dog and the leashes and extra hats for in the garden. So it's not exactly the way I would have designed a fabric closet, but you know, I'm mostly making it work for me. Love having the carts because they can roll right out and I can have my cluster cart, take it over to my filming station and just keep adding to it. I have tried to sort things in the way my brain works, and that's the way I really recommend most people try to do any kind of reorganizing, is you have to know the way your brain works, which is why I've done this about 3 or 4 times, because I've been trying to figure out the best way for me to access the materials that I most want. And as I evolve as an artist, of course, there's different things that I want. Love these new big clear bins because they make seeing what I have there so much easier. I used to have them in white dish pans and that worked, but I couldn't see unless it was overflowing. So being able to have them in those containers really helps. These are all my fabric threads. Yes, they are sorted by color. I know I'm insane. Also in there are some little fabric scraps because I have some plans for those. Coffee dyed lace. 2 big bins full of coffee dyed fabric that are too big for clusters, so they are more like pieces that would be backings for stitching. Then I've got my silk that I have collected and I had them hidden in the garage. Now I've got them in the house so I can use them. And that's my creepy cloth and some silk scarves, some dyed cheesecloth, and some dyed t-shirt scraps. Down the bottom there I've got some neutrals and some other things I've cut apart from lace and just oddball kind of things. I keep all my rusted fabric off to one side because I do notice if I work with it too much, it kind of bothers my throat. So I try to keep it separated. Greens, because I'm always going for the greens. These are some backing fabrics. My linen, finally all in one place that I can get to it and start to paint on it. Wool, because oh my goodness, isn't that lovely to stitch on? And my odd pieces of satin and velvet and polyester that I want to do some manipulation to. A whole bin full of stuff just ready for fabric pages in Just Because books. Up here I've got some overflow of things that are down below, but at least there I can see what's there right away. My undyed cheesecloth, my burlap, lots and lots of cotton. Not quite maybe making the best use of these hooks yet, but you know, I'm working with what I've got. I do like using the big old binder clips in order to hang things on. This is my cluster cart. all kinds of little goodies in there, and I like them in my little stacking clear containers because then I can roll the cart over to where I'm filming or my desk where I'm working. I can take out all the little plastic containers and get to what I want. And I've got a few more of those plastic containers I had to find in the garage so that I can add some of the stuff that's in the studio that I'll show you here in just a minute. But I keep all the fabric scraps. I keep the seam edges. I keep little bits of lace, my threads, and they're just kind of randomly sorted. And of course, after I've been working for a few days or a week or two, or haven't put everything back together, it becomes a big old jumbled mess. And then I sort again and find what I love to work with. This other cart is a place for me to keep the large pieces of dyed fabric because they were all just kind of piling up on the shelves and again getting so jammed in there, that I couldn't pull them out when I wanted them to. So I'm really happy with the evolution of this closet and the way it's all coming together. I did have to put some stuff in the studio and I'm okay with that. Again, some more of my favorite clear containers. But if I'm going to be working on clusters or small art projects or just because books, I can come in here and shop. I've sorted them broad color categories. It's working for me. So what do you think? Came out pretty good, right? Let me know how you store your fabrics and laces. Are you pleased with it? Or maybe is it time for you to take another look and see if you could rearrange things and make it work for you a little bit better? If you're not already a member of the Facebook group, come join us over there because we have a good time. We share our creative projects and we support one another on our creative journeys.